What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode. It has been a freaking long time. I do apologize about that. I was going on a roll with the videos. I'm trying to get back on schedule. I've been putting in 80-mile weeks consecutively, and then it all led up to my lead-up race to the Vermont 100. That's the big goal for this year, the Vermont 100 in July 15th to the 17th. Man, we have been working hard. So our lead up race, which is the topic of this video, was the Manchester to Monadnock 55 miler that we ran last week. Now, all this training that I've been doing, man, it really paid off and it really showed during this run. I was getting crushed by what I've been doing on the side. So I've been building an urban farm, growing I know. I have a full-time job. I run ultra marathons, and then I decide to have like two businesses on the side that I'm trying to build up. I'm building an urban farm, growing gourmet mushrooms and microgreens. We're servicing a couple local restaurants, some distributors, and people in our local area. I don't know. Maybe I have a problem with like work. I always try to grab more and more and then try to do more and more. But that's building. It's really fun. I'll probably let you guys in on that a little bit later, but that's not the topic. Today is the topic. Whoa, I haven't done this so long. My mouth is getting all mumbled. So today's topic is our last run, which was the Manchester to Monadnock version number 2, 2022, which we cut off almost 2 hours off of our time from last year. Super excited about that performance. Super excited about how I've been feeling. I'm still sore because it's kind of a different kind of soreness from extreme exhaustion to extreme fatigue, just the constant pounding. I pretty much ran the entire race. So I got what I could with my freaking GoPro. I'm probably going to stop using this GoPro because I've always have issues with it. So I caught a couple clips, a couple updates on the course, but for some reason this kept turning on and off in my pocket. But let's let these clips roll and see how the Manchester to Monadnock version number 2, 2022 went. All right, so we are in the hotel room. We made it over to Manchester. I decided to get a hotel room just so I can get some sleep because babies are absolutely insane. They like to jump onto specifically my neck when I'm sleeping and my head. So one hits my head, one hits my throat. So it's not really that good of a sleeping opportunity at my house. Just got a hotel room, have to wake up around 1 a.m. Race starts at 4 a.m. so trying to get as much sleep as possible. Gonna get some sushi in, my pre-race sushi that I always do, and then laying everything out and making sure that I didn't forget anything because I always forget something every single race. So this is the kit that we will be running in tomorrow. I'm trying to stay as light as possible, not carry as much. I'll be rocking the naked belt. And then I've been testing out using 2 bottles of Tailwind, 200 calories each in the naked belt. I like how it doesn't bounce around a lot on your chest. So I'll probably be rocking the water bottles inside the naked belt and all the nutrition. So this will be for nutrition pretty much. I'll be carrying 2 honey stingers to start off with, try to get some density in my stomach before I start ingesting a bunch of liquid and a bunch of gels, a bunch of goos and everything like that, a bunch of Coke. So trying to get a nice buffer to start off with honey sting waffles. Honey sting waffle? I don't even know what that means. Honey stinger waffles. And then I will be eating some more sushi in the morning and a bagel to really have a stomach full of really refined carbs to kind of absorb everything for the day. I'll be also rocking the Salomon Agile 6, which I always wear, and this will be basically for all the extra stuff. So I might drop this later on if I can fit everything in there, but I will be also carrying a windbreaker and a headlamp and a couple other items like my GoPro and my keys and everything like that. So most of that extra stuff will probably be rocking inside of the Salomon vest. Now, I do think I'll like having both of these. So if this starts getting annoying and it's bouncing around too much, which I really haven't gotten a lot of bounce on these naked belts, but if it's starting to get annoying, I'm going to transfer it over to the actual vest. So I'll have an option of where I'm going to actually be distributing the weight, and that might help a lot. Now, I've tested this out on quite a few long runs, and I really like that setup of having two options of putting things on, so not everything's in the front. Sometimes it gets annoying bouncing around a little bit too much, so I've been really testing out trying to have a naked belt with me. One additional thing that is really useful for wearing the vest and the naked belt is having a third bottle. So I'll have this in the back of my kit in one of these little pockets, just in case it gets really hot out or I need some additional nutrition. I'll have a third bottle with me, always on hand. And if I need 3 bottles between each aid station, then I'll be able to actually have more nutrition, more liquid calories if it is really hot out. It is supposed to be overcast around 50 to 60, but last year it was a lot hotter. It was around 70, I think, throughout most of the race. So planning on the worst, hoping for really good weather. I mean, 70 degrees, 80 degrees isn't like terrible, but I'm coming out of winter training, which was basically almost all leading up here. All my runs were almost 30 degrees and below. It's only this last month where I've been able to run in weather that's like around 60 degrees. Up here in New Hampshire, it stays cold, usually until June. It starts really heating up around August. So I have to still get my body ready for that hot weather. Other than that, the clothes that I'll be wearing is my tried and true North Face. This is the one I wore on the Grindstone 100. I'll have a headlamp for the first little section of the run. It starts at 4 a.m. once again, so have this for the first like 2 hours or so. I'll be rocking these new Sony headphones. I'll do a full review on these. I like these a lot for running, good situation awareness. I'll do a full review on it, but there are some things that are really freaking annoying. They do seem to fly out of my ears a lot, and they, for some reason, have some charging issues. So hopefully I don't run into anything like that. Additionally, what I had on course were 5 drop bags. I try to keep my drop bags pretty simple, so they're just simple Ziploc bags with my name and what actual aid station they were at. But really simple, same things that I had in my pack. I had the 2 honey stinger waffles. I think I just made the same mistake that I did in the video. I had a cleft block chew, some more salt tabs, which I actually didn't end up taking because I wasn't sweating too much. As you'll see in the videos, it wasn't too hot. And then I had 2 to 3 little bags of tailwind that I like to use. So these little bags are absolutely perfect. They're a lot better. I don't think I have the tubes. So the tubes that I was using for the Mid-State Massive, those are just as good, but these little bags are perfect for about 200 calories. It's a little bit less than 200 calories or 2 scoops of the tailwind, but it fits perfectly. You can put them in your pack. So what I'll do is usually fill up my 2 bottles with tailwind, and then I'll have an extra one just in case, or 1 or 2 of these just in case. So if I hit a water point or if I need some more tailwind, I can just dump it into that bottle really quickly. And it's very form-fitting, very small, and very condensed. It's pretty much the perfect size. Instead of those little single serve tailwind packets that they have that are like this big, the little corners always for some reason end up scratching me and giving me chafing for some reason. But these little bags are so small that you pretty much forget that they're in your vest. So I kept the drop bags really simple. The one big one that I did have, I don't think I actually have it here, was right at the trailhead, just like I did last year. I changed my shoes, so I had my Olympus 4s inside that bag with my trekking poles. One thing that I really made sure that I did was go for the honey stingers and the cleft blocks. So not just only eating the cleft blocks, I would switch from probably 2 and then 1. That way I would have a little bit more bulk, a little bit more density in my stomach with these honey stingers just because they're kind of more like real food. So I had a lot less kind of GI stress or gut issues because I actually had some bulk. A lot of times in the past when I was actually running these runs around 12, around 1 to 3, I would end up getting hungry because that's when my body is used to eating. So getting a little bit more bulk in my system and getting the nutrition from these really seemed to help my stomach kind of stabilize throughout the actual run. I didn't really have any issues until the last 5 miles when when I chugged a freaking Red Bull and it felt like I had to fart out a freaking dragon monster or something. I don't know. That felt like something was in my stomach that just wanted to get out. There was a bunch of people on the trail. I didn't want to blast out a huge fart. I should have, but I didn't want to freaking shoot a giant fart at somebody's face. Well, let's get back into it. Shadowy figure coming from the parking lot of the race. We're about 20 minutes out. Woke up about 3 hours ago. I woke up at 1:30 a.m. just so I could get the body a little bit awake, get some food in me, and then just wait until the start. So checked in, all ready to go, bibs on, drinking a little bit of water, not trying to go crazy, but pretty much ready to go. I'll see you guys out on the trail.
Okay, one. Yeah.
All right, so the sun is coming up. We're about an hour and 17 minutes in, and we are going to start climbing our first little climb. Going uphill right now, but going really slow, trying to keep it nice and calm. There's some blazers out here, so trying not to get caught up chasing them. So let's get into the woods and do our first little climb. Now it's time to put some of that office treadmill hiking training to work. It's a little bit steeper than my treadmill, but let's slowly move up this and then start blazing down again. Start of the race was kind of interesting. I was kind of in the front of the pack and I looked down at my clock and we were running at like a 10 to 11 minute mile pace on pretty flat land. I know that a lot of people kind of do this race as their first race as an ultra marathon. It's a smaller race in the New Hampshire area. There's only about 42 people that were racing this year, but I was kind of in the lead or like in the lead pack, and how I wanted to run this race was how I trained. I wasn't wearing a heart rate monitor and I could tell my perceived effort was a little bit too easy. So I wanted to run how I was training. So I sped up and I pretty much got into like the top 5, top 3 in the first 10 miles just because I wasn't pushing it. I wasn't racing anybody. I was just kind of running my own pace. I knew that I've been training at this certain pace with this same terrain for these all these months leading up to this, and I knew I could hold this pace. So I had to believe in myself. I had to, know that I had that self-confidence, I had that confidence, and I had to take my training and put it into this race. So I sped up and I was running at like an 8 to 9 minute mile pace, which is normally the zone 1, zone 2 for me when it's like kind of rolly hills. So I maintained that pace and I knew that I could hold it for quite a long time. And I just had to trust myself. And I kept telling myself while I was running and kept looking backwards in front and not seeing anybody and kind of getting worried. I kept telling myself, run how you train, run how you train, run how you train. And I just had to believe in myself and I continued down the trail. And that's what I pretty much did during the entire race. I wasn't trying to catch anybody. I wasn't trying to hold myself back. I was just running exactly how I trained for this race because it was pretty much the exact same terrain, the exact same elevation that I train every single day, pretty much every single day up here in New Hampshire on the roads, rolly freaking roads, um, and at a zone 2 heart rate. So believed in myself and I kept going. All right, so we're 20 miles in, feeling good. It is overcast and windy, probably around 55 degrees. So it is absolutely perfect. Man, I'm able to move a little bit faster than I was expecting. So hopefully I don't blow out. Probably gonna happen, but I'm keeping up on my nutrition, taking in about 300 calories an hour. All right, let's keep moving. So we are 31 and a half miles in, 5 hours, 10 minutes of moving time. So we're trucking along. Been going the right way, which is good. Haven't got lost yet. So that's exactly when the GoPro started giving me problems, right after that 31-mile clip. Up until we got to the actual trailhead, everything was going really well. From 30 miles to about 45 miles when you hit that trailhead, that's when those big climbs actually start popping up. I had to control myself once again. And on the really steep road inclines, I power hiked up them. I didn't try to jog. If I started jogging and breathing really hard or start feeling my heart rate go up, I just made sure that I actually power hiked. There was only about 2 hills that were, not even half a mile, maybe like a quarter of a mile long, just super steep and pretty short. So that's time that I could give to the course and power hike it. I power hike up. I made sure that I was blazing down as fast as I could on the declines because I've been really training on my downhill running. So building up my quads, building up my hips and everything like that so I could actually run down all the declines, run the flats, run most of the inclines except for the super steep ones. Made it up to the trailhead. Actually, before we go to the trailhead, I did hit somewhat of a wall probably around mile 40. All right, so we are 40 miles in, 40.6, 6 hours, 48 minutes. Total ascent, 4,400 feet of elevation gain. We are making our way to the trailhead, and I still feel pretty good. My legs are smoked though. Pace is getting a little bit slower, but still moving, still grinding. I think I realized that I already, and this is just one of those weird mental things that happens during ultra marathons. I realized that I ran this race before, and usually when I have about 10 miles left, I get all amped up and I start going a lot faster than I was for the previous 10 miles, just because the adrenaline starts pumping. I know that the end of the race is coming near, but for some reason this time it kind of did the opposite effect. I knew exactly where I was. I knew that the climb was coming, and I knew that I already ran this race. So I kind of got in a funk for a couple miles. My pace dropped about a minute to 2 minutes. So I went from a 9-minute mile, 10-minute mile, and then kind of got into 11 to 12s. It was a lot hillier. So it might have been that. I might be equating this to like mental stuff instead of just like physical pounding of 40 miles. But I know in my head I was kind of like over the race. I was like, I've already done this. You know, this is kind of why I never repeat these races, because I like to run new races. I like to do new things. When I got on the trail, I did get more energy because the varying terrain, that trail is really awesome. Going up Monadnock is super cool. It's super steep. It's pretty technical in some places. So it's a really fun trail to actually run. So the spirits did perk up when I actually got on Pumpelly Trail. So let's jump right back into it. We are on the trail heading up the mountain. I'm on a pretty steep part, so I might be huffing and puffing. Legs are still feeling pretty good. The bottom of my quads, kind of like this area, started seizing up, getting stiff, but stretched it out, drink a Red Bull. Feels pretty good now. We'll see after these inclines, but moving still good and making my way up the mountain. Changed my shoes in the Olympus 4s, grabbed trekking poles. So let's make it up this mountain, check back in, and now it's time to head down. I fell in a goddamn stream, 0.1 away from the finish line. So there's that. I did fall. Right at the finish line. What an idiot. Just to wrap up this video, we ran the Manchester to Monadnock 55-mile ultra marathon in 9 hours, 35 minutes, and 51 seconds, cutting 2 hours off my last year's time. Super excited about that time. Super excited about my performance. And I gained a shitload of self-confidence on being able to run on inclines. I haven't really been doing that on ultra marathons. I always power hiked. I always walked up the inclines, but I'm going to start incorporating a lot more running throughout the entire ultra marathon. And now that I have this self-confidence, now that I have the training, the volume, the experience, I'm going to really start pushing these races a lot more. I'd rather blow out in races than leave a lot in me when these races are over, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to really start pushing these races. Hopefully I don't blow out, but make sure that you like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos leading up to the Vermont 100. We're going to have a lot more training. We're going to have a lot more topics that we're going to talk about. Probably let you guys in a little bit more on my side businesses with Ranger Farms. If you want to check it out, rangerfarmsusa.com. Growing gourmet mushrooms, microgreens, serving and feeding my local community. Hopefully, we just got to build it out a little bit more. But gonna probably be letting you guys in a little bit more on that. But we're going to be grinding, we're going to be training, we're going to be running, and we're going to be out there crushing it every single day. Make sure that you guys have self-confidence in yourself, believe in yourself. If you put in the work, you can do it in your races. If you put in the work, you can do it in your work, your personal life, your hobbies, your goals, your businesses, whatever it may be. Have confidence in yourself. That's one thing that I really learned from this fucking race. I have to fucking believe in myself. I have to know that if I put in hours and hours of fucking running in circles, up hills, and all this bullshit, holding 80 miles a week for 3 weeks, and then going down, and then 80 miles a week for 3 weeks again, 70 miles, 80 miles, fucking running and running and running. I have to have self-confidence that I can do it during the race. I can't hold myself back. I can be smart, and I can actually push hard in every facet of my life. I can push hard for business, personal life, push fucking hard. You put in the fucking work, you push fucking hard, and surprise your fucking self. Go out there, have self-confidence, fucking crush it. Let's do this together. Let's fucking crush the world. Let's go. Let's go!